and so I'd ask you guys to just kind of hold your questions for just a few minutes and give you guys an update. So welcome to Tuesdays at the Capitol. Today is February 9th. It's week 6 of the legislative process. The Minnesota Brain Injury Alliance and its citizen advocates gather every Tuesday morning from 10 to 11 during the legislative session for Zoom Tuesdays at the Capitol. So welcome everybody. And what we try to do is a quick update on what's happening, which I'm going to share with you guys now as soon as I get the sun out of my camera, which I'm going to share with you guys now. And then we'll get an opportunity to discuss some issues and plot some strategy and figure out ways to improve services and supports and the quality of life for everybody affected by brain injury. So I want to start with a couple of updates on bills. I got some really great news for you guys. Cassie's Law has been introduced, has bill numbers, and has its first hearing already scheduled this week. Yeah. So I'm going to show a flyer later. I'm not going to do it right now, but it's House File 856 and Senate File 611. So those of you that track bill numbers, and I've got a flyer I'm going to send all of you. So if you want to jot that down, go ahead, but I will also make sure that you get a copy of that. And we have a hearing scheduled for this Thursday, February 11th at 1 p.m. in the House Public Safety Committee. That's the committee is chaired by Carlos Mariani. For those of you that would like to join that committee, in my email that I send out this afternoon, I will include a link to that committee's webpage. And when you go to that webpage, you can just click on the little live button and watch it. If you're not available and you want to watch it later, it's in the archives and I can help you do that. But we're really excited. For those of you that joined us last week for Tuesdays at the Capitol, we did it in partnership with CCD, where we discussed Cassie's Law. And you guys all remember Tim Berry was there telling his story about his life with his daughter. Sorry, I'm distracted for a second. Looks like Joy froze. I'm hoping she can get back into the meeting with us. And so I'm getting the sun. So that's really good news. I've been working with our lobbyist, Mitch Berggren, and we've met with most of the committee, not all of the committees, and the feedback and the information that we're getting is very positive. And I don't think we're going to have any problem getting the votes to get that bill. I think what we're going to try to do is lay it over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill. You guys remember that motion from last year for a lot of stuff that we do, because we still need to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out how these neuropsychological evaluations get paid for. So I'll come back to that in just a second, but this is really exciting news. And I have other exciting news. That's why I was looking to see if I could see Joy. Joy has been working on a bill to improve driver training for transit drivers. And she's contacted both her state representative and her state senator, and her state rep has agreed to author the bill, and the bill was introduced, and we have a bill number for Joy's bill. So Joy, congratulations on getting a bill number again for this year. And that bill number is House File 529. And Jim Davney has, her House representative has agreed to author that bill. We're working on a Senate author. I know that we have a couple of options. Joy's Senator Patricia Torres Ray has agreed to chief author it. Scott Dibble, another senator from the South Minneapolis area who sits on the Transportation Committee, I think would author it if we asked him to. And what we're trying to do is to see if we can find a majority party senator in the Transportation Committee who was willing to do that. So we're looking for a Republican on the Transportation Committee. If we can have a majority author in both bodies, it usually goes a little more likely to pass. And so we're doing that right now. And we're looking at a senator where I know one of our reps one of our advocates who's not here today, I know is in her district, and we'll see if we can work on that. So we're really excited about two bills, especially during this pandemic and the backup at the revisor's office and not knowing, how to make this stuff happen. It's like I have a brand new job. I think I've told you guys that, trying to figure out how to do this lobbying thing without being at the Capitol. But at any rate, so we got Cassie's Law and we got Joy's driver training bill rolling. Just a couple other quick updates because I like to keep these fairly brief. The governor's budget was introduced 2 weeks ago. We didn't really get a chance to talk about it because it hadn't come out 2 weeks ago. And then last week we focused on pretty much on Cassie's Law. And so I'm not going to do a deep dive into the budget, but if you guys are interested in finding more about what the governor is proposing, we can take a look at some of those issues maybe in the next couple of weeks. The one thing I want to give everybody an update on and to be aware of is in the higher education budget, not in the Health and Human Services budget, but in the higher education budget, the budget that funds colleges and universities. You guys may recall a couple of years ago, I know Coffee John probably does because he testified where we were able to get funding for a traumatic brain injury and a spinal cord injury research fund. And the governor has proposed in his budget eliminating that funding. And so we have regrouped with the spinal cord researchers and those advocates and the traumatic brain injury advocates, that's us, to see about if we can prevent that cut from happening. I mean, the good news is it's already in the budget and we just got to stop the cut. It's always easier to stop a cut than to get money. But if an agency is saying, they basically is saying that they don't think they're the right place. They don't think it's not a good mission fit for them to do this, and they don't have the expertise to judge medical research. It's kind of bizarre. We're still trying to get to the bottom of it and find out from both the higher ed chairs in the House and the Senate what their thoughts are. So we got a couple of meetings on that this week. There's a lot of people rallying the troops, trying to make sure that we can fight that budget cut. So I don't have a lot of news on that right now, other than to let you know a lot of people are concerned about it. You may see an action alert or a call to action if that's something you care about, to let your senator and rep know that you would not like to see that funding cut. There is some talk about maybe moving it over into Health and Human Services. I don't think that's a good idea because then we get caught up in, and I don't want to go too deep into this rabbit hole, but then we get caught up in the whole care versus cure debate, and you've got researchers trying to research cures, fighting with people who already are facing these disabilities and are looking for services. And should you spend the dollar doing research, or should you spend that dollar providing care? And it divides the community. It's a bad place. It's a bad place to be. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. We're concerned about that, but at the same time, the funding is there. And I think if we can convince the legislators to leave it alone, we'll be in good shape. So that's the update for this week. Should be an exciting week. The budget forecast is coming up in a couple of weeks, and we'll have more updates on these issues as time goes by. So thank you, everybody.